many of us have a lot of container plants, and we're always thinking, oh, it's going to be really expensive to have to buy more, and then we want more plants, and we think, well, we can't afford more pots. Many of us also live in flats or in little duplexes where we have little verandas or little balconies where the only way that we can garden is in containers. So let's find a solution for you. We're going to show you today how to make some of these guys. Little concrete pots, and of course, little is just the word that you're going to decide on how big they're going to get. And some of you are thinking, but Tanya, isn't this the Hapatufa pot that you made? No, it's not quite. This is very different. It's got a more refined look to it, smoother, and of course, you can go as large as you want or small as you want, and we're going to show you some great combinations of how to do this, some plants that you can use in them both indoors and out, and hopefully this will be able to solve all your woes of container gardening.
Tanya, I've got some bowls here. A large one, a smaller one.
And they're pretty inexpensive, aren't they?
Yeah, these are cheap pots.
So this is the critical part, folks, is that your little bowl that you're going to get needs to fit inside the larger bowl, because this is going to be your entire mold. And that the gap over here, this gap must be at least 2.5 centimeters thick, because that is going to form the edge of your pot, which is basically this edge over here. So this bowl fitted in there at once upon a time, and that fitted in there, if that makes sense. So we've got these two, and all we've got to do now is get our mixture ready so we can get on and make these guys. Right, Garth, we're using a pretty standard mixture here.
Yes, Tanya.
We do want it to be quite strong,
Yeah.
so what are you going with?
I'm going with 1 part river sand, 1 part stone, and 1 part of cement, Tanya.
Garth, that looks delicious.
Very, very good, Tanya.
Okay, the important thing with this is that it's quite runny. That is what we want, because remember, we are creating it within the mold, and we're going to need to slide literally our mixture in between our 2 plastic bowls. So when you slap it like that, pull it back, you immediately get a smooth finish. Alrighty, let's pop this on this side here, Garth.
Okay.
Remembering, we've got our 2 bowls. Just to recap, what we need now as our first step is any type of oil to act as a releasing agent. Now, because you've got a nice smooth surface on your actual mold, it's not that imperative, but just to be safe, it's better. We've just got a bit of ordinary oil here. You can use cooking oil. All you do is take a bit, throw it in there, and you give your entire mold just a good buttering of this. Likewise, you're going to do the same on this side, because that is going to form the inside of the mold. Okay, leave you there for a sec. First step is to take a good chunk of your mixture and put it in the bottom of your mold. Okay, and that's basically going to be now forming the base. This is the bottom part.
That should be enough, Tanya.
Okay, once it's in there, take a look at that. Once it's in there, we fill it in the bottom. You then take your inner mold and try and get it into the center as possible.
Tanya, a little tip. As we're going to put more concrete in around this here, this inner bowl is going to be lifted up. We need to fill it up with some river sand.
Okay, with this guy in place and fill it up. Right, Garth, we're doing a great job here. Important that you get as close to the lip as possible to fill it up so that you get no movement on the edge here. Now, we can get rid of that. Right, Garth, we happy it's in the middle?
Yep.
Okay, we're as middle as we're going to get. We've got to now get the mixture in between here to start filling up the cavity to create our mold. Okay, Garth, we're nearly at the top there.
Yep.
Lovely stuff. Now, folks, while you're doing this, depending on how wet your river sand is that you're using in the centre to hold it, sometimes you might find, and it depends entirely on the consistency, on the weight of your mixture, your bowl still might be popping up. Watch this closely. Do you see? Yes, I can still actually push it down if you're getting that. And if I leave it, there it starts pushing up. So what I would suggest at this point is push it down, hold it in place. Now that you've got the river sand in, which is going to hold your shape, just get an ordinary brick, And Garth, just pop it on top there. That's the one we want. Keep it in place, nice and balanced. Make sure it's in the center, so you're getting a nice equal spread, and away we go. And now to finish it off, we're going to be using a sponge to just wipe it off the edges and get it nice and smooth. Leave your molds to dry for 2 days. Thereafter, you can feel quite comfortable to take them out and you're good to go. We've made 4 of these little bowls with different applications, different colors, different sizes. And of course, as we mentioned, you can go as large as you want. You can even go taller. So all we've got to do now is let's take these guys off. And we'll start off with our little dinky over here. And we've got to pull this guy out. And the easiest way to do it actually is to hold your hand on here. We're going to tip it over. All this river sand is going to fall out. And then this little guy is just going to come loose. So just like that. Make sure you're holding it. Here we go. And watch now how easy it comes out. And this is just because of the releasing agent. Could it be easier? And there you go. And there you've got an awesomely beautiful, smooth pot. Let's do the others, Garth. Gorgeous. This will be perfect for one of my little succulents, Garth. Absolutely perfect. Okay, now this one here, folks, this is a special guy because in our mixture, you know the oxide that you get from your local hardware store, the packets of that red stuff or that black stuff that you have no idea what to do with? Well, you take like a whole packet of that stuff. It comes in guys about this big. Take a whole packet, shove it into your mixture. And don't be worried about how much. And I mean, take a look at this. Beautiful. God, this is a stunner.
Came out very nice, that one.
Oh, and it's even got a nice lip.
Yep.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, there isn't a hole in it, which means we're going to need to drill holes. And that's one thing you're probably saying, but Tanya, you never told us about it earlier. That's because it's the next step. So let's get these guys out of here. One more to go. Gorgeous, Garth. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this little oakie's even got some little lines on the inside. That's obviously because the mold had them. But yeah, you're not going to see them, but quite funky anyway. And there we go. Take a look at that beautiful terracotta. Remember, the oxide comes in terracotta, which is like this red, charcoal, and yellow as well. And of course, then the plain cement. But beautiful line of pots. Garth, let's pop them all there. Ho-ho, look at that. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, you can sit over there. Excellent. Now, well, you see, you could have the pots for that as well. I'm not too sure. Garth, what are you up to? And now what we've got to do before we plant in them is just drill some holes in them, and then we're going to get ready to plant.